Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Patholkas, and it's time. Long wait on this one. Invincible, Season 2, Episode 1, A Lesson for Your Next Life. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and then let's get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Hang on just one moment. There we go. Hey, Cheryl. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you haven't seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give me enough time to pause, go away, whatever you need to do. All right. So yeah, it's been 2 years since roughly about 2 years since season 1 ended. And of course, that whole thing with Omni-Man beating the fuck out of his son and just laying the bomb on him that Viltrumites are world conquerors, and really, as long as the Earth submits to them, everything will keep going along as it has been. Only Earth will get the cure for cancer, all this kind of stuff. They just need to submit to the Viltrumites. And Mark was not along for that and got the shit kicked out of him by his dad. And his dad left for no reason. I mean, honestly, his dad could have killed him pretty easily. So we have the aftermath now. It's basically 6 weeks after Omni-Man has left. We have the Guardians of the Globe still taking care of what they need to take care of under Cecil's watch. And they get some new blood added to their rosters. Bulletproof and the Immortal comes back as well. Because remember, the Immortal at one point had been ripped apart and by Omni-Man, and then he came back to life. So we also see at the very beginning of this episode, we see an alternate universe where Mark had actually joined his dad and taken over the world. And it's pretty horrific. We see them kill the Immortal in that world. Squish his head at least, and he says, come back from that one, kind of thing. And just laying down draconian law. Anybody that rebels dies, pretty much is what it is. And we also meet this character, Angstrom Levy, who ends up being portaled away, once the final resistance has been taken out by Mark and his dad. So Mark, in our world, the world that we've been watching, PTSD, of course, big time at this point. Everyone's got PTSD. Chicago's being rebuilt. No one trusts Mark. Cecil doesn't. Cecil basically is playing nice with him right now because, of course, he wants him under control before he actually, trusts him, kind of thing. Oxymoron there. And Mark and his mom are just basically going through the motions at this point. They've been really hit pretty badly in all of this. So in the meantime, we've got Angstrom, who we find out he kidnaps the Maulers out of jail so that they can build him a basically one of those mind transfer devices. Because what Angstrom's been doing in our world has been collecting all the other Angstrom levies from all the different worlds that where Invincible has taken over, or Invincible and Omni-Man have taken over. And he basically wants to create a utopia by basically putting all of their minds, of all the Angstrom's minds, he's got like thousands of them, into his mind so that he can create a utopia. And that's what the whole thing is all about. And the Maulers succeed in building this Christmas tree kind of thing that all the Angstrom levies from all these different worlds are sitting in. They're all strapped in. And when the power this big, huge power thing happens because the Maulers get seen, of course, by Cecil's group. Cecil sends in Invincible. He's like, "All right, kid, you want to work for me? Here's, an earpiece. Go for it." And instead of listening to Angstrom, well, also Angstrom doesn't listen to the Maulers who say, "Don't take off the helmet. You've got a lot of fucking energy going through there. If you take off the helmet, you're going to kill everybody. You're going to kill us all." And Mauler, of course, doesn't listen to Angstrom to not fight Invincible. So Angstrom brings in more Maulers from alternate universes to fight Invincible. And Invincible's not listening to anybody that this is not a bad thing that's going to happen. It's supposed to be a good thing. And of course, Angstrom ends up taking off the helmet and killing everybody in the room except for Invincible. Yeah. And Cecil over the earpiece. Remember what Cecil says over the earpiece to Mark. He says, "You listen to me. You did good. That's what we want. We want you to listen to me, and when you listen to me, good things happen," is what he says. And you stop this from happening. You stop something bad from happening, which obviously it wasn't something bad. It was probably going to be something good. He just didn't stop to listen. Is what was going on. And out of all of this, one of the Maulers has survived. He's half melted. Angstrom has survived, although he is now visibly changed and has thousands of minds crammed into his, and he can't figure out which one's which. And all he wants is revenge for something that he did to himself at this point. And he portals out, and that's where we leave off on this episode. And Mark, of course, again has blood on his hands and is freaking out. Again, PTSD. Um, oh, and also Mark and his girlfriend both get into the same college, so that's going on there. There's a lot going on in this episode. The aftermath of everything that's happened, and even though it's a slow episode for the most part, it still has a lot of ramifications of what's going on here and how people are still fairly shell shocked 6 weeks after all of this has happened. And still no good is coming out of any of this. So I'm interested to see where we're going to go further with this. Cause we know the Voltrumites are going to come back. Uh, and if you've read the comics, you also know what's going to happen as well. There's some version of it's going to happen. So it's going to be, it's going to be another fucking wild ride here on this one. And we know that Invincible has been greenlit for, I think, now for 4 seasons total, I think is what it is. So we shouldn't have that next 2-year gap in all of this. We should have, regular year seasons now at this point instead of 2 years in between. But yeah. How far do I think they'll stray from the comics? I think they're just going to tweak things here and there. They did in the first season. They're going to do the same thing in the second season here as well. I don't think they're going to stray too far from it because the storyline actually works, but they're cleaning up some stuff in there. Kirkman's working on it, so he's the one that co-created all of this. So I'm fairly sure he's going to be guiding them in the right direction. And also, you said earlier, Raymond, I know this comic was written over a decade ago, but I must admit I really have multiverse fatigue. So if people don't remember, if you go back to some of my previous videos, I want to say when I reviewed the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, and I was talking about the multiverse, and I said we're going to be seeing a lot more of the multiverse to the point where people are going to be sick of the multiverse. Welcome to my world. We are going to be having. I like the multiverse. I am not adverse to it, quite honestly. Does it need to happen for everything? No, it doesn't. But DC's jumped on the bandwagon, with the DC universe, the Flash movie that came out that had the multiverse as well. Of course, we have Loki that's doing the multiverse as well, which is going to go into phase 5 with all the King stuff and Deadpool 3. All of this is going to deal with the multiverse. We're going to start seeing more multiverse stuff going on. Don't be surprised if you don't see it happening in The Boys as well at some point, because I have a feeling that's going to happen at some point in time. Yeah, it really is a MacGuffin in order to free writers from some of the spots they've backed themselves into. Quite honestly, is what it comes down to. Here, not so much. Here, it was just to show that this guy could do this stuff and that he was actually trying to use it for good, not for evil. And because he fucked it up himself, he has now made himself a villain because he is going to try and destroy Invincible for something that he did to himself. That's really what it comes down to. In this case, the multiverse angle isn't going to be the crux of the story. It's going to be a power set that this guy has. Uh, Cheryl says, "What happened to those Mars creatures from season one?" That's a great question, Cheryl. We hopefully we'll find out about that. Thank you, Mufino, but you didn't need to do that. Haven't seen this episode yet, but glad it's out now. Yeah, it's again 2 years ago is when season one came out, so you can be forgiven for forgetting that this actually existed. I actually went back and watched the last two episodes. I want to say back in June or July. I think it was somewhere around July, and forgotten how fucking violent this show is actually is. And it's much more violent than The Boys. I'll say that right now. And that's because it's animated, so they can get away with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, and also it's well written too. It's got some good storylines to it. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to see where we're going to go with this season. It started off slow, but like I said, there's a lot to unpack here. Raymond says, I heard we're only going to get 4 episodes this season, right? I think we get 4 episodes for the first half, then there's going to be a break, and then we're going to get the next 4 episodes after that. There's a good way to find that out. Let me go take a look at IMDb, which I have up. That's what I'm looking at right now. All the episodes for season 2. So season 2, because it also has the dates of when they are released. Yeah, so we have the first 4 episodes are going to run through Thanksgiving, and then after that, it says the next 4 episodes are going to be 2024. So probably January, February, somewhere around there. That's what I think is going to happen. Celebro says, it's been a while since I saw this, but I thought he and his girlfriend broke up. They hadn't. Yeah, there are some issues between them, but that got all patched up. Yeah. So at one point, so I'm gonna be honest, I watched it late last night and kind of fell asleep near the end there. And so when they were talking about the who got admitted to which college and they opened each other's letters, um, for a minute there, I thought that she had powers to kind of change his mind. Uh and that's because I was half asleep, and I actually had to rewatch it again this morning, just that end part, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. Okay, so basically, she got in and he got in, so that was the whole thing." Yeah, that's kind of what made me kind of discombobulated a little bit. It's been a long week. That's all I can say. So yeah, a good episode. Again, just violence and bloodshed, violence and bloodshed. That's what this show is about too. With periods of calm in between all of that violence and bloodshed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see. I know that I'm fairly sure what's going to happen is at the mid-season finale, um, we're going to have a big cliffhanger that's going to happen right before right at the mid-season finale. I'm fairly sure we're going to have a Viltrumite return, if not the Viltrumite fleet, at some point. We'll see. If who I think is going to be that shows up does, it's going to be interesting. It's kind of early on, but I can see them doing that a little earlier rather than later. Again, I don't remember the comic too much because, like you were saying, Raymond, it's been about 10 years ago since that comic came out. Yeah, it was kind of funny. I had the first couple of issues of Invincible I had issue 0 of this when they had an issue 0. This one Image Comics like first started, and I had that one, and I think I sold that one for like $40 like a couple months after I had gotten it. Now that thing's worth ridiculous amounts of money, but I needed the money at the time, and I wasn't about to go into stripping. Raymond says Robot Man and Monster Girl still feel really awkward to me. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to feel that way, Raymond. Remember, she is. They both have adult minds in children's bodies, and with her, it's whenever she uses her powers, she reverses in age. And for him, he's just got a new body that his mind has been transferred in. He's not used to it, but it's still a child's body. And also, you have censors who can't show children having sex, obviously, even in animated form. So it's going to be very, very, very awkward for a while, um, unless you're going to find some way to age them up rapidly, which you probably can. And honestly, children having sex, no, don't want to see any of that bullshit. So, yeah, just to be on the clear side on that one. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Obviously, I'm glad they're actually spacing it out a bit. They have to. I'm glad they didn't drop 2 episodes at once like they normally do for Amazon. And I'm glad they're just like I said that they're going to pace it out. We need to have this show needs to be paced out a bit more. Like I said, it is extreme violence, and you need to have a break in between it because it can be desensitizing, it can be overwhelming, and we already have enough of that with video games. If you want that kind of shit, you can do video games all you want and get all of that. I do find it funny that so Mortal Kombat 1, which just got released fairly recently, I believe, or it's going to be released, now has Omni-Man as a character that you can play, and his fatality move is what he did to Mark, where he takes the character who's fighting. There's video of this, and he beats the fuck out of the character, beats him into the ground, then picks him up by the head, takes off into the sky, goes into the ground, and then there's a subway train, and he holds the character out in front of the subway train, and the whole subway train smashes through them, and they smash through all the people that are in the train, and it's even gorier than what they showed in season 1 of Invincible. And I was like, holy fuck. And then when it ends, when they get through the train, the body of the character that Omni-Man is holding basically it's just the top half of the torso and the head, and then the top half of the torso breaks away, him holding the head, and he just kind of tosses it to the ground. I was like, fuck. Oh, okay. Omni-Man was released a few weeks ago for MK1. Got it, Raymond. Yeah. I didn't realize that he had been released. I just saw the video yesterday or the day before, something like that. And I was like, wow, that's pretty fucking violent. So, all right. Well, what else do I got for you? What am I doing for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow I'm going to be doing spoiler alert, where basically anything that's out there that isn't a sneak preview that you've seen that you want to talk about, movies, TV shows, games, all that kind of stuff. Even if I haven't seen it, we'll talk about it. Probably also some genre news, all that kind of stuff. It's going to happen. And then next week I'm going to try and do Loki on Thursday. That'll be the season finale of Loki. Not Thursday, on Friday. I take that back because it's just too late for you guys on Thursdays, and I know no one's going to show up, so that's why I do it on Friday. Also, there will be a contest for that as well, and I'm probably going to do Invincibles on Saturday. I'm going to do the Invincible episodes on Saturday, at least until Loki. Once Loki ends, and I'll move it back over to Friday. That's what I'll do. So, Raymond says, "Can we talk about comic spoilers for Invincible, or is that too much?" You can, we can talk about it in spoiler alert. That's perfectly fine. Honestly, I don't remember a good majority of that comic. And remember, it went over a span of, was it 10 years? I think that comic was out for like 10 or 12 years. And they basically, it's the first comic where your character actually ages, chronologically as the episodes go. So the character aged kind of, I guess you could say, in real time of whenever the comics went. So yeah, instead of keeping him perpetually at 25 or a teenager or something like that, this character actually ages in the comics. So that was kind of interesting as well. And I think that's what they're going to do here as well with this series, if they keep doing it as a comic, which will be a first again. And it'll be nice. A nice change of pace. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the night or rest of the day, wherever it is, what time of day it is where you're at. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat. And thank you if you made this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you want to watch and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos of my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. It's over 1,100 videos now at this point. If you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. I also have all my social media there, like all my pages, all the links, and all that kind of stuff there as well. And if you take a look underneath the schedule, it has like stuff that's coming out for the rest of the year. Not everything, but stuff that I'm most likely going to be covering. So there you have it. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that you're adding new members to the team, and they have issues with what name that you came up with. Rexplode. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night, day, week, whatever you're going to be doing there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. See ya.